See you guys. Happy morning. Happy new week. It is 11 a.m. here in Budapest, Hungary. I'm with the Panda. Of course, we're staying at home where we're safe. Panda, come here. Hey guys. What's up, Mr. Coffee? Asterby, good to see you. Stay safe, guys. Stay home. Be good. Bye-bye. Alright, you stay over there. Behave yourself. Panda wants to take over the stream. One day there'll be like a pirate shakedown. He'll take over. What's up, guys? So we're going to take some challenges. 5, 3 through 7 plus 3. It's Monday. Blitz and rapid chess is the theme. Still waking up. I'm not really a morning person, so that's why I don't start until 11 a.m. I'm still sleepy. Let's go play some warm-up games. Casual, where is it? Lobby. I love the word lobby. All right, 5 plus 2. What happened? He disappeared. The Master of Death. There was a Chess 960. 5 cent pawn Asterbate. That's so hard. How do you get a 5 cent pawn loss? I think you have to almost play every single move the engine wants to play. Brutal. Here's 4 plus 2. A little faster than I would normally like. Just trying to get myself awake to play chess here. Let's try a Benoni. Benoni is chess bunnies. You like that? The bunny thing. I'm an amateur Benoniist. Benoni dangerous though. Benoni. Wow, the 1800 he plays the same line I play with white. Ambulances are in good form. The Benoni. Kalchev. Even Kalchev knows this line. Super late night bunny stream. The Benoni. The were-rabbit. Be careful, occasionally a were-rabbit will appear. But the Vorpal bunny also. Very old game wizardry. When I was a kid, I had my first computer. Was damn, these ambulances so annoying. Am I down a piece yet? He has 92? No, too late for that. Did I do something wrong? Queen A5 check. Seems right, but I mean, I guess I never really thought about it. Gotta give up my bishop here. Bye-bye, bishop. Bye-bye, tiger. Hello, tiger. Lots of movie references. Video games. We love all kinds of stuff. This could be dangerous for black. No dark square bishop. Man, I need more coffee. Maybe I'll go down for a second one. I should get like a coffee maker in my office, honestly. I just don't have enough outlets. Even if I had one, I don't know where I would plug it in. I already have all my outlets plugged in. Okay, bishop d2. What if I win the d5 pawn? How would you feel about that? This move is sort of artificial. Hey, would you like to trade queens? My kid's laptop. That laptop was like fried. I still have to take it back to the store in the US where I bought it. So the answer to that question was no. It looks like it's not. It was not repairable. Two different opinions on it. No, thanks for remembering that, GP Bear. But I've still got a laptop. I got to take it back to Best Buy. It seemed to just get fried by something. I don't know. It was just defective. I wanted to go after this d5 pawn. Maybe set up a little battery of death for my opponent here. But hopefully I'll get a refund. I don't know. It's still within the first year when I bought it. The question is, will the manufacturer refund me or the store where I bought it? But I haven't been able to get back to the United States. Clearly. I love these 1800, the random 1800s that I play. So I am playing the Benoni though, which is not my usual rep. This could get exceedingly dangerous now. It's a good thing that knight g5 wins by force. Almost. No, Bob, nobody here reads the news or anything. We don't have the news at our fingertips in the 21st century. I try to stay away from the mass shootings as a discussion point. Generally, I'm depressed enough with like the virus. It would be less fun that way if I just said yes. Damn, this guy is scary. Check out his c4 move. I thought queen b2 was even stronger than queen c3, hitting my bishop. But he's freaking scary, man. Threatening rook e1 now. I practically have to play this. Major structural concession. This guy's 1866. Come on. It's nothing positive to come from that. Opposite-colored bishops. Look at the way he played c4. That was brilliant. It's a good way to like lose by force. Unbelievable. He's almost winning by force here. Never give up your Benoni bishop. Pretty damn close to lost. A lot of choices. You don't think this guy's suspicious or anything, do you? Nothing suspicious about his game, right? He's just a normal 1800. Getting some freaky noise. What is that? Oh, my sound is turned on. Somebody's like following. I didn't know what it was. I think this guy's just legitimately really good. Like, he's not an engine, but he's just really good. But why is he 1866 if he's really good? Doesn't make any sense. You know, that's pretty disturbing. I think I can draw. Fast and good. Thank God the queens are off the board. I don't want to give him 3 connected passed pawns. Not in the mood for that today. Standard everyday 1866. Check out the last move. And his time play. Yeah, he's suspicious. There's something wrong here with the 1866. Was a good year. Damn, dude, you're gonna cheat in an unrated game. Unbelievable. But it's like a master or something. I don't think it's a computer. It's like a human master. Wow. What is his roommate? Like an IM or GM or something? I don't understand. I don't think that was a computer. It didn't play like a computer. It played like an IM or some kind of very strong. The Blitz at the end was insane. Wow, dude. All right. Nice rating manipulation. 1800. Good luck if you play him in a rated game. You're going to lose all your rating points. That's the warm-up game for today. If I take the G7 pawn, but how do you get it? The guy played like God in the endgame. He maneuvers bishop A1, protects his G7 pawn. I can't even like attack it a second time. He played the endgame. Maybe he was an engine. I don't know. I mean, the endgame was unbelievable. The last technique part, maybe he was busting an engine on me. I mean, his technique was insane with no time at the end. How can I sack a rook? He was double protecting it. You know, he's got his bishop and his rook protecting it. If I could have gotten back, yeah, I have to get back. Like, theoretically, I can protect it, but my king was cut off on the 5th rank, so his rook is there cutting me off. Maybe it was still a draw. Feels like I'm in Zugzwan, honestly. But I could, if I could sack my rook, of course. If I can sack my rook for his pawn, like rook for bishop and pawn, it's bishop versus rook, and I have a pawn, so it's a draw. The question is, can I force it though? That was an unbelievable master level game by white. You know, if he was like 2200, okay, I would be like, wow, he played a great game, you know. But if you're going to be like 1800 and play like that, you should probably be banned. So this is interesting. The Stonewall Dutch from Ayeste. But the endgame technique was just like ridiculous. Like the rest of the game, he played like, okay, 2200 or something. But then he busts like the fully brutalizing computer technique in the endgame. I'm going to sack a pawn here, but I think this is important. When you face the Stonewall Dutch, if you don't play d4, it's not really a Dutch, first of all. I mean, his entire position is geared toward controlling e4. If we can play e4 ourselves, we're refuting his opening, essentially. That's such a good feeling to play a suspicious player in the first game. Yes, feels good. I was in a good mood too. Despite trying to start conversations about mass murderers and whatnot, I'm going to just blow it off. I don't care. I don't care. I'm in a good mood. It's fine. Queen e2. What's up, Bob? Anything positive for today's stream? I don't know what you're talking about, protein. All right, Queen f7. What is this? I'm not going to analyze like Blitz games with cheating opponents. I mean, we don't have that much time. I have to go in about 2 hours and 15 minutes. So the stream is going to be a little shorter than usual. This is a good idea, Queen f7, Queen h5. Guys, simul games I haven't had a chance to look at. We had some interesting games yesterday. Unfortunately, like 3 people just didn't play, which always sucks. Every time I try to bring new players in the stream to accept random challenges, I get this happening. They're sitting there, they're waiting for like 15 minutes for the game to start, and then they like bail after 2 moves. It's ridiculous. 3 people missed a chance to play in the simul yesterday. Why would you wait for like 10 minutes for a simul game to start and then like quit after it starts, like the first move? It's so sick. They're patiently waiting from like 10 to 15 minutes. How's the stream? Cheetahs. Masturbate's new word. Jim, good to see you. Wait. Bishop a3 is stupid. I had to have better than this. I had to have better than this. Now it's symmetrical, kind of uninspiring. Clearly bishop a3 doesn't work. Yes, takes on e5. Maybe I need to play c4 or something, open a second front. It's weakening. Man, this sucks. I have almost nothing now. How did I let him off the hook here? e4, clearly better for white. And then bishop c7 losing a tempo. And now I let him equalize. Queen e2, queen f7. Anything's better than like taking on f5. e5, bishop a3, bishop a3, for example. No, then he goes rook e8. Railbird 80. Bob, come on now. I just imagine it was me and not him. Like if you were saying something like that on his stream about me, how would I feel? I don't want to know. You never talk trash about me? Are you sure? You can make that? Well, then it's alright. Damn it, I have nothing here. Absolutely nothing. I like how the first opponent, I never ever played the Benoni. He's 1800 on lichess, which makes him maximum 1700 FIDE. And he knows the theory. Something went wrong there. I'll have to look that up though. You know, I said I didn't want to go over the game with the cheater in the first game, but actually the opening is worth looking at. We don't have that much time though. As I said, I really have to go at like 1:15, so the stream is going to be like 15 minutes shorter than usual. But I wonder what I did wrong, or he did wrong. Knight b5, queen a5 check. Is queen a5 check even right? Am I supposed to play rook e8 there? I'm not even sure my first move was right. I never played the Benoni. I guess I should play rook e8. It's so weird looking at it from black's perspective. What a weird opening. Play d5, c6, e6, and f5. I haven't even played d4 yet. I mean, I think the Stonewall Dutch is already kind of sketchy. To play it just straight up. But to play it when white hasn't even played d4 yet seems almost outright incorrect. But by exchanging on f5, I've given him this total okay position. Now the bishop is okay. It's actually extending out to that pawn on f5, which is lusting to play f4. Once he plays f4, he's golden. He has symmetrical structure, no inferiority structurally. I don't think I really have an advantage here at all. And I should have had a big one. Maybe I have some kind of microscopic advantage, like 0.1. I would guess. 0.1, 1.5 advantage for white here. Now possible sacrifices with knight e4. Pseudo sacrifices. And my knight is trapped. Are you serious? How am I 500 rating points higher than this opponent, or anyone for that matter? Why am I 24.95 if I'm not even better than people who are 1900? I don't understand like how the rating system works, frankly. That was a very, very nasty trap. He was threatening knight e4 as a temporary piece sacrifice. Extremely deep idea. The placement of the knight on c5 also very sophisticated. I have to play knight g5 and knight h3 just not to be worse. I don't remember Ayeste playing the Stonewall Dutch before. That's something new. Now he's going to renew his threat of knight e4. I mean, g5 is probably too much. Knight g6, knight rescue. What a positional battle. Finally, a simple mistake. That's weird. That was weird. Definitely not expected. Good to see someone make a mistake, though. It's a good feeling. People are human. I want to check the first opening. Ayeste, you did great until this rook f7 move. Okay, h6 was bad. The engine actually thinks I'm better by 1.5. Wow. Okay, as usual, Stockfish is exaggerating. I don't think I'm that much better. But my first game, I want to see the opening. What did I do? I don't really want to highlight this player who was suspicious, but seriously, I'm playing the Benoni here. And did I misplay the opening? With Queen A5 check? Okay, when I'm white in these lines, I'm playing the same line, right? Well, I'm supposed to play rook e8. Aha. I'm supposed to play rook e8 first. Okay. So I played knight e4. It's not as good a line. So this is just unsound. Well, I came out of it. Alright, whatever. Apparently I'm like losing there. It's a bad variation. Good to know. Funny, because I play it with white, and I have what I play with white like memorized, and I don't even stop to think about other moves. Looking at it from the black side, I don't play the Benoni unless it's a King's Indian, some specific variations. That was just kind of messing around because it was the first game. All right, Asmir. Asterby, what is happening with you when you play in the simul's? Guy, you lost your queen yesterday. What's up, man, with you dropping your queen? Are you multitasking during our simul games? Because Asterby, I don't know, it just seems like, you know, you were really competitive for a while, and then lately, like in the last couple of weeks, you've been playing like you're not really putting your all into it. So I'm wondering if are you doing something else that's distracting you during the games on Sunday? You don't seem very well concentrated. Is it just the Caro Kann that makes you crazy, or you can't play against the Caro Kann? You need like a Caro Kann training camp. Welcome to the stream, guys. Please support the stream if you can. Yeah, so the short variation is basically exactly like playing knight f3 here, which, you know, this wasn't considered a big deal at all. In the old days, the knight c3 in the late 80s, mid to late 80s, knight c3 was the critical line. c4 was always a known line. Some obscure lines like what Osmir is playing against me now. h4, I'm not sure if that had been invented. g4 had been tried. But basically, Nigel Short and others led to the development of this knight f3 system into a modern weapon. What's this? Maybe White should just like take on c5 here. I mean, I know this is a line with knight g3. But I don't remember bishop d3 being the next move. What is White supposed to play here? They don't play a5. Warnaki. French players who got tired of having a bad bishop. I don't know, the Caro-Kann doesn't like me, frankly. Although this exchange, I think, is like non-optimal. Clearly, like, by taking on g6, I think you're making concession, bringing my pawn toward the center, giving me play along the h-file. Although that may not be a big deal. I'm questioning whether or not like bishop d3 is even a good move. I can't remember what he's supposed to do here. Maybe h4. I mean, I would assume h4. You know what? It's h4, and then black play h5, and if bishop e2, maybe black like has a pawn sack or something. I think I recall some variation where black plays h4, h5, and then bishop e2, maybe c5. We just go and sacrifice the pawn on h5. We can check after the game. Caro-Kann is it just for some reason doesn't work well for me. I guess it's just not hyper modern enough or something. Counter-attacking. I need counter-attacking. So what's up, guys? I have yet to analyze the subscriber games, the simul games from yesterday. Though we did have some good battles. This gives me knight h6 rather than knight e7 where I'm blocking my defensive c5. I don't really like exchanging on d4 because that brings his knight out to a good square. What's solid about that mass of pawns? Are you serious? Try to penetrate it. Try to get through. It's hard to get through. These are solid, it's true. How do you get through those? You got to get through those pawns to get to my king. How do you open up that? How are you gonna open up this area to attack my king? Not easy. The problem for me is like, how do I do anything to white? You know, it's hard to go and get white. It almost seems stupid to play like knight f5 here to trade off his bad knight, but mine is bad too. How about queen h4? Nah. Yeah, Zeus, I was just thinking about queen h4. It was an interesting idea. It was an interesting idea, definitely. Still in the position. Sorry, I have like the sudden urge to sneeze. I don't think I've ever actually sneezed on stream. Amazingly. I don't know how that's possible. White is now giving up the d4 square. White is now losing. Because of the aforementioned queen h4. Aforementioned queen h4. Juicebox Wizard. How are things in Southeast Asia? Still quiet? No corona? It was getting worse in Thailand, right? Alright, rematch. What was I going to say about last game? Well, let's check the opening here. What's he supposed to play? I think it's like 92, e6, knight g3, bishop g6, h4. Yes. So you're supposed to play h4. This is what I'm talking about. Though I don't know what's wrong with h6. Like, clearly there's nothing wrong with this move. It just gives white like a little bit of a space advantage. So the theoretical line is h5, bishop e2, and then I sack a pawn. So I was right. One of my students from a couple of years ago he ghosted me. Maybe he played on the stream years ago. He had a game or two in this line. He was playing the Caro-Kann. Don't ghost your chess coach. How are things in Hungary? Hungary is quiet. We have coronavirus. People are in lockdown, but it's not out of control. All right, bishop d3 though. Not really a typical idea here. Looks like I played correctly. I don't really like exchanging on g6 here by white. You should just play c3, like anyway. But 92 knight g3 is not great against the Caro-Kann in this advanced variation. Evermore. Livermore. There was a famous legendary park player in New York, Livermore. Fides, did we play before? No, you don't have enough games. This is like a provisional account, so I'm not going to accept challenges from provisional players. Evermore is okay. Is Livermorium? Is that a real element, Bob? Oh, that's like a scientist. Another Livermore? He was like an 80s and 90s park hustler. All right. The exciting King's Indian attack. I'm just slowly getting awake here. Maybe I'll throw out an e4. Everyone who plays the London system should be banned from chess. Here we go again. This isn't a new account, I hope. Pretty new. Pretty new. There is one player who's like a troll who repeatedly plays the London system with both colors, and they keep making new accounts to try to get to play me because I blocked them. This is probably them again. Very possibly. I'm paranoid that everybody who plays the London system is this guy, but it's very possible. I think anybody who plays the London system with both colors probably has some sort of mental illness. I mean, it doesn't show very much flexibility. To play the same thing every single game with both colors is almost like a chess. It's a chess personality disorder. You have a chess personality disorder. Gotta try different stuff. I would just quit, man, if I had to play it every single game. It's nice and everything, but that's all you do. You only play this one setup with both colors. I'm on a rant again. The London sucks. It's like boring. There's no tactics. They have to like basically make a hybrid with other openings to make it interesting. So the so-called like Jabava London, all you're doing is you're playing now you're not playing the London anymore. You're playing the Dunst opening or the Verisov, and you're pretending you're playing the London, but it's not. You know, you're playing a totally different opening. Those are the only lines that are interesting, where white plays like knight c3 in the London system, because they're a different opening. It's not the London system anymore. Now, we all have a comfort level. As we get older, we also get less and less creative, it feels like. So it's good to kind of try to push against that, I think. I try to do that with myself, to kind of wake yourself up and be like, look, you gotta try different stuff before it's too late, you know. Try to give yourself a broader perception of different kind of positions. You're only playing one kind of position. I don't think it's good for your game. I hate this London stuff. Okay, so now he's played e5 and d5, changing the pawn structure, but he doesn't have a white square bishop, so we can kind of use that to our advantage. Try to use it to our advantage. It's not easy to do. To use this white square bishop could take 30 moves to make that piece really influential here. Of course, the English is boring compared to the King's Gambit, the Danish, and the Budapest. You've got the somewhat unsound repertoire. I mean, you would get blown away if you played that kind of repertoire on a professional level. It's like suicide. It depends on how strong your opponents are. If you get away with playing things like the King's Gambit, try to play the King's Gambit in GM tournaments. Probably only a handful of people can do that. It's okay in like Bullet or something. It's probably good for Bullet. I don't know, though. It does weaken your king. Anyway, I don't know. Alright, it's just a game. I shouldn't play the King's Indian attack. This is just like a London system magnet. I should probably criticize myself for playing the King's Indian attack too much, which is sort of a system-y type of thing. But I'm not really trying to play it like a straight-up King's Indian attack. I often just use the move order to transpose to different stuff. I should learn to play the Catalan. I feel like Kasparov playing against Deep Blue. Fischer S-I-C-H. Fischer's not spelled S-H-E-R. Well, the question is, did he know what he meant? A lot of people don't, you know. A lot of people don't know, so it can be a shorthand, but it's not necessary that he knew it. Not necessarily true that he knows the real spelling. Possible that he's just using it as a shorthand, but a lot of people don't know. And Fischer's ancient now. When I was young, I mean, Bobby Fischer was like not that far in the past, you know. But I mean, now we're at the stage where it's I think this is our friend. I don't know. Evermore. Well, what's his bullet rating like? Pretty medium. Maybe not. I'm paranoid about that guy. The troll on my stream that played this every single game. It wasn't the problem, the reason why I banned him. I don't even remember now. It might be him, though. You're 58, and you write? That's funny. We thought you were like a teenager. I think the DK guy is like 15, and he's 50-something. It's good, though. Adopting a young style. Shorthand is useful. So now we got the Magnus Carlsen style thing going on. The H file. I don't know why I call this Magnus. I've seen a couple of games where Magnus really used the two bishops with this type of thing. He likes it. It's certainly not his invention. The bishops can get in the game, we're better. Now we have a problem with knight d4. Kind of a judgment call. Our advantage is like ultra micro small here. A little bit of something. I didn't want to let his knight get into d4, but probably if I have more time, I could find a way to live with that. It's also possible to play ops colored bishop position. Is h5 even any good? Good thing I'm on his e5 pawn. Now his structure is damaged, but he's got pressure on f2. Livermore. Livermorium. That's right, Bob. Even here, he's probably okay if he just doesn't hang a piece. It's a little bit unpleasant. Plus 1 point something. I don't think that's our troll friend. I'm paranoid of everybody who plays the London system. Okay, let's get the challengers going on here. Berkelium? Is that for Berkeley? Besides, you have no games. I can't accept challenges from people who have no games. Then I just end up playing like guys like the first one who are like 2400, 1200s. I like open positions better, especially in Blitz. I'm playing the King's Indian attack because I'm lazy, number one, and number two, it's morning. I have to be a little bit awake before I can start playing open positions like like e4, especially because I'm not that theoretically well versed in e4. Although I do play it, I don't know the openings quite as well as d4. Andreas Greco, he's challenged me to rate it. I'll accept 5+3 casual. 5+3 through 7+3 casual. That's our requirement here for challenges. You also have to have at least 50 rated games. Trevetto, you can see Sparkle Horse is my account on lichess, but we need a 5+3 through 7+3 challenge. I'll be streaming for another hour and a half or so. I don't play rated. I do play off stream rated, but it's too much of a disadvantage. You know, streaming and like discussing the game while you're playing is actually a pretty big handicap. So I'm declining that challenge because he keeps re-challenging me at rated. I don't know if he realizes that, but it's just too much of a handicap, you know, to have to talk about the game while I'm playing. I mean, I'm basically playing at a disadvantage. That's why I don't accept rated challenges. If you ever want to play and challenge me off stream, I mean, I would definitely consider accepting rated challenges. So Saksham, Prosecco, like the champagne. That's the guy who just chatted in the stream, and Mr. Coffee. So I will take these challenges. We'll play Mr. Coffee first. He is a subscriber. He also donated yesterday, generously, 300 bits to the stream. Right, let's start warming up on Mr. Coffee. It's 11:52 now. I never play e4 before midday. That's my new rule. Better with a lot of alcohol. I play e4 better when I'm drunk. So I've never played e4 nearly as much as other stuff like d4, c4, knight f3 in tournament play, but I probably have 100 games with e4. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Probably more. Maybe I have 200 games with e4, but it's like, it pales in comparison to the number of games I played with other stuff. Well, I don't want to play when I'm drunk, but let's say at least a couple beers. A little more fearlessly than usual. Mr. Coffee trying to play the Sicilian. Interesting. It's funny that you do that, Mr. Coffee. I was just joking with him yesterday that he got a position that was basically like the middle game was like a hedgehog Sicilian Scheveningen. So what's up with g3 in this position? g3, bishop b4, bishop g2. Then d5. Funny. What happens on g3, bishop b4, bishop g2, d5? I guess taking would allow him. He probably won't do that. This is a more critical move. Let's play. As I mentioned earlier in the stream, we had a subscriber stream on Thursday. We go over games. One of our subscribers submitted a game with this line, and they played knight takes c6. Knight takes c6, b takes c, e5 is considered by many like sharp players to be the best line. My theoretical knowledge there is not great, and I never played that line, even in like training games. So now Mr. Coffee's playing the Sveshnikov. Well, he will be. He will be soon. Mr. Coffee, Sveshnikov. It's basically a positional system. I think the Sveshnikov it's good. It's one of the best too, along with the Najdorf. Probably the Najdorf, Sveshnikov, and e6 based systems are the three best ways to play the Sicilian. Yasser said it's terrible to go knight takes c6. Jim, are you talking about he said it about that specific position? Or you're talking about Yasser making general comments? Yes, the specific position. Well, it's always bad to play knight takes c6 in the Sicilian, except for that position, like, and a few others. No, I mean, knight takes c6 is almost always bad, but this particular position, I don't think it's bad. We still haven't sorted out whether it's true or not. But maybe Yasser doesn't like that. So bishop e7 is a mistake here. It's a commonly made mistake. Right now, that bishop has flexibility. So if I take on f6, he takes with the g-pawn. It can deploy out to g7 later on. Bishop e7 is considered to be a mistake. In this position, he has to take back with the pawn, but he doesn't get the bishop to g7 later on where it's better placed. Now it's on a bad square on e7. But I guess he's also just allowing knight to d5. I don't know if knight d5 is even the best move or not, I guess. You know, you don't really run into this position very often. So knight d5, castles, take. I take on d6, I win a pawn, but sort of sell out. Do I really want to win this pawn? After castles, knight takes, e7, check. Jim, you don't understand why? You're saying you don't understand why? I mean, I think in general, it's bringing a pawn toward the center for black. Like, the d5 square, as you see here, is black's weak point in the Sicilian, or any dark square pawn-based defense like e4, e5. So even if the bowling lane, yeah, it's an alley. No, it's a lane. Right? Alleys are the places where you go to play bowling. Okay. We made this joke earlier. Chess for kids. It's a good analogy. This is a bowling alley. It's a lane. Lane number 2. Mr. Coffee, he loves to bowl. Alright, so this protects his... This is interesting. This keeps his d6 pawn protected. Well, it's accumulation of advantages, Jim. You know, you're like helping the opponent to slightly improve their position. By trading a knight on d4 for a knight on c6, it itself alone is a mistake. You're trading a knight that's centralized in the middle of the board for a knight that's on the 3rd rank. Why would white want to voluntarily do that? First of all, forget about the pawn coming toward the center. Your knight on d4 is like your best piece in the Sicilian. It's influencing all sorts of nice squares. And the one on c6, if it takes on d4, it brings white's queen to like the best possible centralized position, where it can almost only be attacked by like the bad move e5. You know, queen on d4 it's monstrous, you know. So there's like more than one reason why knight takes c6 is bad. It's not only about the pawn coming toward the center. But anyways, knight c7, rook b8 doesn't look very impressive. Maybe I have time for queen d2. Something strange about this move, slightly. Not really threatening anything, am I? Sheppy, long time no see. The main problem with knight c6 is black's follow-ups in the center with d5. Well, particularly in the Sveshnikov, right? If you try to do like knight takes c6 in the Sveshnikov, you're building this huge center that can come and expand. I see. I'm playing like the classical Sicilian with black, right? With knight c6 and knight f6. I mean, I see people all the time. All the time they're trying to go like knight takes c6 because they don't know what else to do. Mr. Coffee. b4? Asking for it, dude. Queen a5 is always bad. This is no exception. b4 is tempting. I guess we'll do it. I think Senior Cave is going to play a5 at some point too. Especially after b4. He's going to undermine my b4 pawn. That's why I have to think so long on this move. No, he should go back to d8 now. Admit your mistake. I don't think it's like that fatal yet. Queen d8. What about like queen d8, queen h6 check, king g8, rook d1? Looks pretty brutal. a5 will be a tad slow by then. We haven't seen Shep e13 in a long time. Alright, so what about bishop g5? If you can only play f5 and then bishop g5, my queen can almost be trapped. I don't think castling queenside is a good idea. a5. Break out. The video game. McConnell to Bourdonnais. That's a new one. Okay, the sun is coming, so be ready. We'll be blinded by the light. Mr. Coffee just resigned, so disappointing. Now you can't play bishop e7 here. Did I even refute this properly? Igor Ivanov did it in 2006. Is that the same Igor? It's impossible. That's a different Igor Ivanov. Raichigov against Igor. Igor died. When did Igor die? Can't be the same Igor. It must be an extremely common name in Russia. Igor Ivanov. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's like Bob Smith, Steve Jones. When did Igor die? It must have been around 2006. Bishop f6, probably earlier, actually. Bishop f6, g takes f6, knight d5, castles. This is a novelty. TN. No, that's played. Oh, you play king f8, Mr. Coffee. Theoretical novelty, king f8. Better to castle, apparently. Mr. Coffee was worried about saving his pawn on d6. What is this game? Kraft Dieter against Wolfgang Stanke? It's like, dude, seriously played this in a correspondence game? What? What kind of correspondence player is rated 2494 and is playing this with black? It's like correspondence rating point dumping or something. That's ridiculous. Castles is the best move. King f8, new idea. So I should play queen h5, apparently. Just king g7, coffee. You know, if I take this pawn, honestly, if I take your bad b, you know, this isn't that bad. In this kind of endgame where you're down a pawn, you can probably put up some resistance here. Like if I have to take that bishop. My bishop is pretty bad. I don't know. Maybe you're almost not that sorry to give up that pawn for practical chances to hang on. Okay, Prosecco. Well, I don't understand how a correspondence player rated 2500 would play bishop e7 in the Sveshnikov. But I guess accidents happen. Like he sent the wrong move or something. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Suspicious, rigged correspondence games. Seems like he's Italian. All right. But anyway, I usually play a couple different things. The rigged correspondence game. Computer versus computer, he was cheating. He forgot to turn on the opening book for his computer, even without the opening book. I don't know, man. They're doing like rating point dumping and correspondence chess. So the Sozin attack. See, like here, you often see people go like knight takes c6. I don't understand. Except like, okay, there are some ideas to play it where they take on c6 and they play e5 as a kind of positional pawn sacrifice. You'll see sometimes. But why would you play knight takes c6? How does that benefit white? How does it benefit white to trade a piece that you spent 2 tempi developing for one that's just only spent 1 tempi developing? You're losing a tempo effectively when you play knight takes c6. You've played knight f3, knight takes d4, black's played knight c6. Now by trading a centralized piece for a non-centralized piece, you're basically losing a tempo. More drawing chances. That's optimistic. Alright, so bishop e3 is a common move. People who like to play the Velimirovich attack, like my opponent, Grandmaster Alonso Zapata in 2006. But f3 is not really the right idea. Typically, we would see either g4 or f4 or queen e2 most commonly in this position. I don't know if I should castle kingside. f3 is probably not that bad, as it might be in some positions. But it's basically not as good as queen e2. You don't really need to make that pawn move. Though I'm not sure. If you want to castle kingside, f3 is definitely bad. I will say that. If your plan is to castle kingside. That's funny, Bob. I like that. f3 is always bad. The reverse Feingold theory. I have been tricked into playing bishop e7, which I don't normally like to do. But at least he's not castling kingside, which would be really... put white in a relatively planless position. I mean, if you can castle queenside, you should. He's basically playing it like a Velimirovich with his queen on the other square. I mean, I'm sure we'll find a handful of games where this has been played. At least he didn't castle kingside, which would be really toothless. I'm probably going to have to castle at some point once I put my bishop on e7. The problem with bishop e7 is that it makes these sacrifices like knight f5 more powerful. If my bishop's on f8, I can just ignore it. That's what I did against Zapata. I just ignore knight f5 like there's no threat with my bishop on f8. But once I put my bishop on e7, I can't ignore these sort of sacrifices anymore. So he's going to come with g4. All right, this can be played. The bishop could be involved in a cooperative sacrifice at some point with the knight. Well, you can take back either with the c pawn or the a pawn here. Even with the knight is possible, though it's not really dynamic to take with the knight. Padron Antoni, thank you. Padron Antoni. So we've got multiple Italians. Italian opponent, Italian subscriber. So this is like the least aggressive. I mean, you see that he doesn't get double pawns and he opens up the file here, but it takes the knight off that great square, you know, on d4. That's his best placed piece. It's very, very hard if you think about it from Black's perspective. How can I get that knight off of d4? You know, it's everywhere. It's attacking f5, e6, c6, all these invasive threats. And when it goes to b3, it's a lot less aggressive. I mean, it's still not that bad. The position is still okay for white, I'm sure. But the knight takes a much less active position here. Now it will have to come back or spend time to come back in the center. I thought Jim was going to start the Greek Empire. G3. Ancient Romans versus ancient Greeks. G4. So this makes sense. Again, I would rather not play bishop e7, but I probably should just castle at this point. Maybe I don't have to. The other thing is I can attack his pawns, his knights with my pawns. Attack his pawns. Knight d7, voluntary retreat. Look, I've played some really scary lines with Black, where White has like extremely aggressive pawn storms and stuff. This isn't even close to the worst that I've faced. I'm not committed. I also have knight e5. It's not the end of the world though. He can defend with queen f2, queen g2. He's basically playing an English attack here. It's a hybrid, because in the English attack you generally play like f3, bishop e3. Here he's playing bishop c4, bishop b3. White's position is basically a cross between the English attack and the Sozin. Yeah, I'm sure we'll find a few examples of f3 if we look. Okay, it's going to become like a bullet game with increment. That's fine. Plenty of time. 3-second increments are enough. Well, I mean, I think you should just play like king b1, h4, h5, standard stuff here. White is probably still better. My bishop pair is hard to really... It's kind of hard to really make it work here. I might be able to stir up some threats without castling. He's got bishop c1. Solid. Knight a3 check. No problem. Our pawns are rolling. That could be a problem with knight b3, actually. The knight getting hit by a5, a4 is another reason why it's very possible that it's a mistake to take with a knight on b3 here. Now he has to play knight e2 and then a5, and we're just rolling with tempo. Knight e2, a5. Which knight is going to go to d4, by the way? You have a competition going on between those two. There's no real attack yet for white. Too bad there's no delay option on the lichess clock. Good suggestion, actually, trolling a roll. Has anybody, I mean, people must have suggested that in the forums, right? This is a great idea. Just a great idea. Let's go with the pawn. I mean, would it be a bother? At least for like private games, they don't have to incorporate into tournaments. That might take a lot of work for the coders. But I would think just giving people the option to have delay would be cool. Did I play the right move? Should I have played bishop b7 instead of queen b7? That e4 pawn. I'm not really happy about that. Damn it. We have a strong attack, right? Knight a3 check. Why didn't I take that? Why didn't I take the pawn on f6? Just instinct. Funny move like knight h7, rook h7. He's still alive. Probably I better than queen d7. I should just take. Yeah, I need a little time, but this is very strong. I just want to verify, this move f3. So you can see here, I think Zapata played queen e2 against me, but f4 is also possible. Castle kingside is also possible. But f3 is not really typically played. Just doesn't really fit in. You don't need to play it if you're going to castle queenside. You would normally play like queen e2. So we're following a couple games. On the first one to play knight takes b3. But I don't know about knight takes b3. Apparently not bad. could have played e5, taking away the d4 square. This looks like a good attack for black. Alright guys, good game. Thank you for joining the stream. Zen Chess is here. I don't play 10 plus 3. Anything between 5 plus 3. Also, Norby. Norby, if you want to re-challenge me, it's 5 plus 3. Also from Hungary. I'm living in Budapest. But seriously, Norby, if you're there, challenge me to 5 plus 3. We've got time for probably these games. Heine. Grab a Heine. That's not a common ad campaign anymore. Zen Chess. Alright. Zen Chess, let's go. Oh, you're there. Sebas. Yo, köszönöm. We're not going to do any Hungarian streaming. My Hungarian is just not good enough. Nem elég jó a magyar. A magyarul. Én magyarul. Nem elég jó. We're not going to be doing Hungarian streaming. I'm just too weak. I would sound too stupid. Zen Chess. Why are people playing the Sicilian with white? They don't know the basic theory. Well, I give them credit for at least trying. You know, honestly, Stinger, I'm really like sickened by too many people playing like the closed Sicilian and stuff. I'm glad that people do. They at least try, you know, because it's just much more fun than playing the. Though you're right in a way, like the open Sicilian is tricky, and you probably shouldn't play it unless you can really put in the time to study it. I'm glad that they do, because I couldn't handle like many more people playing like anti-Sicilians and closed stuff and C3 and everything else. Chess wouldn't be fun without people doing things they shouldn't do, Stinger 87. Well, I mean, you got to learn somehow. You know, you can only learn by trying. I mean, I certainly, I didn't grow up as an E4 player, really. Although I always tried in Blitz, to be honest. Even though I never played E4 in a tournament game until I was already a master, 2200 US, I always did try. I always did practice it, you know. Just didn't play over the board. Long games with E4, but ever since I was like 1500, I've been playing E4 for training purposes. So, but I think E4 takes a lot of work, frankly. Probably takes slightly more work to play E4 than other openings. Yeah, everybody plays stuff like the Bodler attack. It's ridiculous. Remember, I lost to Joel Benjamin in this position back in like 1994. Somehow he managed to play like some kind of trick based on playing like knight g4 against me. It's a pretty kind of drawish variation, but I learned a little bit from that game. I don't remember how it devastated my position or something, whether he played knight g4, knight e5, or bishop c5. I don't know. Not accustomed to seeing that here. Normally black is trying to put pressure on the c4 pawn in these hedgehog type of lines. Speaking of hedgehog, I play the hedgehog for black. So although I don't play the sign of the Queen's Indian, maybe once I did against Olincic. I think I actually lost in this line with black. I had prepared for him because he was playing it every single time with white. If someone's that predictable, you can actually go outside your comfort zone and start playing stuff you've never played before. Just specifically, I never played the bishop a6 Queen's Indian, except against Olincic, because he would play the same variation every single time, and I still lost. I remember now. Somehow I still lost. Yeah, but that's really not a big deal, Warnaki. That boulder attack is basically, it's just like white is playing like black. Essentially black. It's like a defense more than anything. I would say it's just another kind of closed Sicilian. It's really non-offensive. So what do we do now? What about the knight on f6, by the way? Oh, I'm like asking him to do the Joel Benjamin. Knight g4. But here, it might be his best move. I was like, oh, he's gotten the way to protect it. He can go back to e7. Actually, maybe this is like forcing him to improve his position. Knight e8. I don't really like allowing me to take on f6, but maybe even that's not so bad. You take a position like king h8, bishop f6, g takes f6. It's not that easy for white to really attack. But I think that Zen chess is a tempo down on some sort of a lichess game here. Knight e4. Knight e4, knight e4, bishop e7. We also have knight b5, which is pretty nasty, threatening knight d6. Maybe that's strongest. That's why they often play a6 early, to stop this from happening. I mean, I played like 20 Grandmaster tournaments in Budapest between like 2004 and 2011. I saw a lot of games where Zlatko Lichess played this line with white. He was like an expert. And it was amazing. His score was excellent. Brutal score. Queen c6. We should have some kind of endgame edge here, clearly. I mean, even like a6 is not a threat. Well, I guess it is a threat, actually. How about rook ac1? You're going to play what? Rook c8? That's a problem. That's a bit of a problem. So this is coming next. I can play knight d6. But I don't really like allowing that. Rook ac1, rook c8. What am I going to do about the c4 pawn? Take on f6. Take on f6, bishop f6. Then knight d6. That's actually interesting. Now, but I'm going to get in trouble. Bishop f6. Bishop f6. Bishop f6. Knight d6. Queen a4. Knight a4, but my knight is stupid. Knight in a4 is very bad. Though I do have an advantage with the lockdown on d6. Speaking of lockdowns, how's everybody doing? The sun is shining here in Budapest, as you can see. That makes it worse. How about this? How about that way? Every day is sunny under lockdown. It's like unbelievable. The longest record of like good weather ever in history. If it's raining in Italy, it's probably going to be raining here soon. We had brief rain the other night, but for like 20 minutes. First time, I think, in a month. Are you threatening me? What if it's not really a threat? I really want to sacrifice a piece here, but I just don't see it working. I want to play knight d5 really bad. Sadly, like, he can just take it and run away. We'll try a speculative sacrifice. I'm down to 1:42. Probably not really justified. His development is a little uncomfortable. It's funny, it actually reminds me of a game like years ago I played where I sacked a piece. It was ironically the same opening. A long-term piece sack. What about you? How's your knight feeling? Good? How's your rook? Things okay there? With those guys? They're happy? Everybody's happy? I just play knight d6. I'm like sitting here like an idiot. I was looking at the other move, like rook c7 forever. But he didn't have to play rook takes rook, right? Would it have made a difference? If you play g takes f, you're still not having fun. I'll guarantee it. You're still lost there. This is definitely lost. G takes f is still lost. So you're lost. But my move is good. Okay, so you're just lost. Wow. Knight d5 just wins. It's brutal. Definitely one of my better combinations in recent history. All right. So I've got 45 minutes. We've got 45 minutes or so. 40 minutes. I can take these 3 challenges. That'll probably be it for today. Stefanos is subscribers. I want to take those other 2 challenges if I can get to them. 7 plus 3, anything between 5-3 and 7 plus 3. I did not get a haircut. I need a haircut. It's just the sun. Hair shave. What does that mean? Troll? You're gonna get in trouble. I'm not doing the shave your head challenge or whatever. I would not look good. We're not going to go there. We never talk about Slaggie's hair. Right, Bob knows not to go there. Mr. Coffee's former military. He's going to go with the crew cut. So how can we play? Let's play something quiet. I'm not in the mood for your Vienna variation. I had a game with Stefanos where he played the Vienna, and that's just tough, man. I'll play the Queen's Gambit Accepted or whatever with A4. I used to play this. It's not a great line. Generally speaking, like, you shouldn't really play Knight C3 early in the Queen's Gambit Accepted. But I guess if you play it, you play A4, and we play this variation. It's okay. Yeah, this is standard stuff. It's not great for white. It's not bad. I remember years ago playing Paco Vallejo on ICC when he was still in IM. He used to play. He had the special system where he always like put his knight on A5. Most people like would focus on the B4 square, but he would stick the knight on A5. I remember that very distinctively. Not a lot of strong players played the Queen's Gambit Accepted. This is a specific move order for Stefanos. You know, playing the Vienna Gambit or whatever, Vienna variation. He's not playing the Queen's Gambit Accepted in every line, just in certain lines. You just like the A5 square. You're just biased, Warnacki. But it's usually the pawn move, right? Kira's played A4, Queen's Gambit Accepted. My problem is this square. It's not so much the A5, but this square is always weak for white. It's a pain. Now, actually, because he exchanged on D4, you know, that move, maybe not the most flexible. I feel like that's a tension that black doesn't have to give up. Remember years and years ago, I beat Charlie Hurtan, but he played the opening well. Like, he played some kind of flexible setup where he didn't play like CD. He was able to just play like Queen C7, Knight C6, keep the tension. There's really, I don't think, any benefit for black to exchange on D4. You don't need to exchange on D4. Okay, you give me an isolated pawn, but I don't think that's all that important, honestly. Maybe it's better for black not to exchange on D4 and play some sort of more fluid setup, although this is fine. Probably this position is just, we just transposed to a Steinitz variation of the Queen's Gambit Accepted. I mean, I can play like D5. Actually, then we have to watch out for Knight A5 again. But I suppose I could just play like D5 and equalize right now. My ultimate fear with black, a low-rated player would just play D5 and liquidate everything and draw. I'm not looking to draw, obviously. Queen D3, Knight B4, Tempo City. I would love to play this Botvinnik plan. He's right on it with a tempo. So, I don't know. Bishop G5, very standard move, but it makes it easy for black to trade pieces. How do I keep this protected and move my queen? I don't think I can sack a pawn with like Queen E2. Bishop E3 is a bad square. So white has a problem. How to play for a win here. How to play for a win from this position with white is the problem. Almost every move I can find a problem with. Maybe the best is Bishop E3. There's an issue with everything. Let's just try not to be worse. I get angry about everything, Bob. I have anger management problems. I'm just a domineering individual who likes to control the chat. Is the isolated queen pawn, or IQP, one of the best known pawn structures? Yeah, absolutely. And also one of the most misunderstood. I did my middle game class, published by the Chess World, for which I don't really derive any benefit, but if you do, you'll at least increase my popularity if you do buy that. But the IQP is like considered by many players as a weakness, but it's not. I mean, it's essentially a double-edged sword. This pawn is a strength and a weakness at the same time. Maybe it's like more of a strength than a weakness by definition. It's a pawn in the center of the board controlling key points. You know, it's almost like having an extra piece. It's only a weakness if I'm tied down to protecting it, essentially. So I played bishop g5, but I still don't have a good follow-up. Dude, don't even start with a mustache. Sometimes I tease my friends and family when I shave and I just leave the mustache part. I would never. Well, you guys saw me all the time with just unshaven look. But that was like full mustache and beard. I did the beard pretty long last year when I was depressed, when my mom was in the hospital. But just didn't feel like I had any motivation to shave. But mustache, I don't know, Bob. I think you're pulling my leg. Mustache just never really worked for me. I tried it very briefly a couple months ago. When was that? I think I tried it. Maybe that's when you were having your time out. Before we had Bob on timeout. Mutually orchestrated timeout. All right, so now what do I do? I want to play queen d3, but I'm not allowed. I'll just get hit by knight b4. How about d5 now? We always get the Vallejo attack with knight a5. Sometimes in the c3 Sicilian you got these tricky shots with like rook takes bishop, like e5, pawn takes pawn, rook takes bishop. But in order for that to work, I think in order for that to work, my bishop would not be able to be on c4. You have to play like d5, ed5, rook e7 without d takes c4 being possible. So I'm going to play rook c1, maybe bishop a2, bishop b1, knight e4. Well, I just don't generally want to trade pieces because I have the isolated pawn. Obviously, there are certain circumstances where it's good. If I can gain something concretely. Damn, bishop b1, bishop f3, queen f3, queen d4. Maybe there we're talking. Bishop d3 is the same thing. Shit. I don't know. Rook c1 doesn't do me a lot of good. d5, knight a5 again. Maybe bishop d3. I'm not happy with this. The knight e4 idea that was suggested, knight b4, bishop e1, bishop f3 is a problem. Knight b4, bishop f6, bishop f6, bishop e4 I was thinking about. Like bishop e4, knight e4. Maybe it's not that bad for me. Or he can play knight d5 actually there. I have no advantage. But I'm never going to claim that white has an advantage in these kind of lines. My d-pawn is a weakness. Is it? Is it a weakness or is it a strength? This was unexpected. Did not at all expect that move. Knight t5, bishop g5, knight g5, queen g5, knight b6. What the heck is that? I would say I could play bishop e7. So that's kind of what he's banking on. But what about this? I guess he just plays queen d5 here, then bishop e4. Not so simple. Well, I'm better developed, slightly, but I have weaknesses. These pawns. These pawns are weaker than these pawns. More easily attacked. But I have my rooks developed and he doesn't. Shouldn't that count for something? So bishop g5, knight g5, queen g5, knight b6, suicide. Did I seriously just... What am I thinking about? Committing suicide? I'm committing suicide. Yeah, that doesn't work for me very well. I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking. So now we have to desperately bail out somehow. White is clearly worse. I mean, I totally forgot about g2. Terrible. Yeah, this is a fail. I don't know what I spent all my time thinking about, frankly. This was 7 minutes. I'm talking about like strategic stuff. It would have been better just lose a pawn. You know, I should have just like lost a pawn with, sacrificed a pawn with bishop e1. There were a lot of good moves. I mean, I could have just played bishop e7. I'm not worse after bishop e7. But sometimes when you have a position where you have like a kind of failure to accept the truth, reality. Like, reality is that I don't have an advantage, but I start to think that there's some kind of... That's when you start to have this mirage effect where it's like when you're in the desert and you're thirsty. You start to imagine that there's like an oasis or whatever. It's the same thing in bad positions or positions where you don't accept the fact that you don't have an advantage. Like this, you know? Like, I don't have an advantage, but I want to force the belief that I have an advantage. So I'll start to invent like fantasies here that I'm secretly better, but like continuing to let Bob take part in my stream. Look what he did. He made me hang the exchange. Now I just lost a piece. Jesus. Thanks, man. Kind of lucky there. We're totally lost, obviously. Perfect game. Except for that move. Nice job, man. I gotta go very shortly, so just want to show this opening. Apparently I played, you see, like, the people bail out and play like d5 now. Not very exciting, you know. I mean, I don't want to draw. Surprising, like, White won a bunch of games here with d5. This has been played before. Bishop d3 was played. It's bad. Wow, you can actually... Yeah, it has to be knight b4. So I should have sacked a pawn like this. This is what I figured. It's actually not a very reasonable pawn sacrifice. This would have been totally okay. Ridiculous to play what I played with, like, bishop d3. Now here I have to take, and I'm still equal. But this move is just ridiculous. At least I landed on my feet and played knight e3. He played a great game. I hung the exchange because of Bob. Bob immediately started piping up in the chat, and I lost my concentration with knight takes g5. I'm okay after knight takes g5. Black might be a little better here, I don't know. It's totally Bob's fault. Like, immediately Bob said something and I played knight c4 and dropped the exchange on c1. It's ridiculous. Alright guys, 2 more games. These last 2. You donate 500 bits every time you make me get a lost position. By the way, we have no donations yet this week. So feel free to be the first one, Mr. Distraction. Heine from Bulgaria. He's been waiting patiently. Last 2 games for today, guys. I gotta run. Running on a short schedule. It makes me think of that old Heineken advertising campaign that wouldn't fly anymore with the Me Too movement. Mr. Coffee, thank you. Grab a Heine, Bob. I don't even like Heineken. It's too sweet. It's like one of my least favorite beers. Alright, knight c3. Just ignoring it, whatever. It's a Trompowski. Take it. I don't care. He doesn't care either. Alright, so we're even. Interesting. We'll have to try something. 1 donation, Jim. It's the thought that counts. Get on the board. Get on the board. Very good. Now they're coming. Jim tricked Ashcode into donating 15 bits and then comes over the top with $5.99. It's like a check raise. You check raised him. Alright. H6, bishop e2. Thanks, Ashcode, for the donation. Thank you, Jim. Thanks, guys. I have to go. Tomorrow night we have our Ponda Arena Blitz tournament, which means 5 plus 3. It's not Ponda Arena. Sorry, just the Blitz Arena. 5 plus 3. Pondas are rapid. This is regular Blitz. 5 plus 3. 6:30 tomorrow night here on lichess. If you've got nothing better to do, please stop by. 6:30 Central European Summertime. So I think we can try to blast him along the F file if he castles kingside, maybe even if he doesn't. Blitz Arena. You do check raise quite often. Check raising with bits. Now he's thinking about casting queenside. Nah. That's fine. Go ahead. Go for it. How can we prepare for either option? If he's going to castle queenside, I want to be ready for that. I want to be ready for that. To initiate queenside attack. Maybe rook c1. Am I going to be able to just roll on the c file? Is this the right square? Maybe my rook should be like on b1. Maybe I should just play a4. I seriously thought about just a4. Maybe that's the best move of all. It's so caveman, but just a4. You played a lot of casual chess, my eyes glaze over, bitch, when study becomes involved. I really try to advocate serious thought here. This is pretty much the fastest that I play on the stream. I'll play 3-0 in man, is this really right to play f4? Probably not. H4 is interesting. Just do it. Once Anatoly Line said that to me. Just don't. Just don't. Just do it. H4. I don't know. We're gonna just give you a pawn. How about that? It's a little maniacal. But if I can play f4, e5, he's a dead man. You actually play normal King's Indian? This rook c1 seems like it was unnecessary now. Toward the end of my active poker years, the Greek players started trending really heavy online. I noticed that. Lots of good Greek players. I'm talking about poker. Now everyone plays, but during the economic downturn, WJ Lou, thanks for the donation, 100 bits. What are we going to do? Knight h7, f5. This rook was misplaced always. What about d4, though? I don't like this. He's got too much pressure and not enough defense with d4. e5 first. Yeah, e5 first is a good move. I think that was kind of more or less my plan. But I have this obsession with keeping the tension, maybe to my own detriment. Like, just simply e5 is a strong move. Yeah, probably. I don't normally like to borrow ideas from the viewers, because I feel like then I'm just playing what they said. But e5, I mean, yeah, it's a very important part of the position. That's why I played h4. So I could play f4 and just have total domination of the center. He's really, you know, I thought supposed to take on h4 though. I really thought he would take that. I didn't intend to take it back necessarily. This position looks really dominant though. Just too much center for white. How do you know I like Levi's, Bob? You're scaring me. Did I say that or something? I probably said it. Bob, you pay too much attention. You're a stalker. Bob is my stalker. Remember when Bob called my house in America, my mom's house, when I left the stream on? Actually, you saved me with that. That was good. Who knows what I would have done? Got naked in the stream or something? If I left it on, I didn't realize. My mom was going crazy, dude. You don't know what I was going through. I was definitely yelling at her. I didn't make a habit of anything like that, but yeah, she was tough, dude. The stalker. Who are you talking to, Padron? Generational. I was getting her back for yelling at me when I was a kid. All right. We're all over black here, but how do we finish him off? The ultra slow g3, king g2. What's up with Levy Roseman? No, I mean, you're talking about a player that's just way too young for me to know. I don't know any of the American players who are under 20 years old. Pretty much. I've just been away too long, and I don't. I'm basically more of a Hungarian than I am American chess player now. If you're asking me about Hungarian chess players, I would know them. Well, he can't be much over 20. Still, okay, whatever, 25. I haven't been living in the United States since 2004, regularly. I mean, I went back a lot, but I didn't, you know, almost never played in tournaments in the US. I have very little kind of knowledge of these guys. Anybody of anything like post 2004. He's doing a good job of surviving here, though he has this horrible spatial disadvantage. Man, it's like the stone wall. The vortex. How to break through, though. G4. Yeah, he's lost now. Too much. It's hard to tell the difference between people who are like 18 and 25. That's when you know you're old. Like, you have no perception of that kind of thing. The wall. Welcome to the wall. Will he die already? He's not dying. We've got it on both sides of the board now. He's a survivor. The wave. Man. F5 begging to be played. Double break. The defendo. Okay, h6 is just hanging. I could just take it. Free. Maybe he should play h5, actually. He defended it now. Damn it, Jerry. Now we have to maneuver. This game's taking forever. I'm going to be late. Like Alice in Wonderland. Late for a very important date. That's hanging a piece. Alright, last game. I can't take this, Lou. Dama Norby. Norbert. Last game for today. I gotta go, guys. Thanks everybody for watching. Don't let me forget to turn off the stream, Bob. But I'm not going to give you my number, no matter how much you would like that. I don't even have a landline. Well, I do, but it's always turned off. I'm not going to give. Do not give Bob your number. Very, very dangerous. Bishop G5. The Sarawan attack. Well, there's always hope, Bob. So Queen A5 check, Bishop D2. It's kind of a funny line. He can play Queen D2, but then Bishop E4. Oof. That's probably not good. I feel like I looked at this last week or something. Something very similar. This is not that bad for white after Bishop D2. Queen A5 is probably a mistake. That's my catchphrase. Queen A5 is always bad. Just too tempting. You know Asterbait would play Queen A5. Thank you guys for supporting the stream. Thanks to donations today. Subscriptions. Knight B5, E3. Both these moves are probably okay. He played this. Even that's probably okay. think I need to take that bishop out before he hurts someone. This is going to leave me lagging in development, though. That's a bad move. Loses the queen. Of course, he has to play knight takes. His position's fine after knight takes c3. It's fine. It's equal. No, he drops a piece. Oh, queen c2 was a mistake. Okay, I wasn't even thinking. So he has to be careful here. Yeah, of course. He's dropping the knight. I forgot. He has to take with the pawn. Okay, it's ugly. This is not really a good pawn structure for white. But there's no reason to play queen c2. Yeah, you just calmly. But I didn't like bishop c3, Dominorby. Maybe that's not necessary. Funny that probably queen a5 is not my best move. Magyar Játékos. The old IM's Kapostos versus Eperieshi 1976. 1976, I was barely alive yet. Won't reveal my age since I'm 39. I couldn't have been alive back then, but somehow, in spirit, I was alive. I remember the bicentennial. I remember going to the fair in my town and getting a pet goldfish. And all these bicentennial flags were all around. Strange. That's the first age I had any memory, probably 1976. The town fair with the goldfish. Scary, isn't it? Anyway, I'm still 39 officially. I will see you guys later. Have a great one. Thanks for joining the stream. Sorry, Bob. No nudes. Can't do that. Maybe if I go into another career. Anyway, no, seriously, guys. Tomorrow night we've got the Blitz tournament, 6:30 CEST, and Wednesday another Blitz and Rapid Weird Opening stream in the morning. Thanks everybody for playing. Hopefully we'll get a better game from Dominorby next time. We were lucky here with a short victory. So guys, good games. I will see you tomorrow night from the Panda and myself. Thanks for the support. Troll Arena. The Troll Arena. Tomorrow night. Yeah, I was just thinking I should do a chess 960. I should probably do a chess 960 simul, I was actually thinking. That would be cool. Hey, thanks everybody for watching. I love you too. Stay home, stay safe. You better behave yourself, Bob. Bye-bye.